Recording from Memories Grill in downtown Tahlequah, this is the Darrin Chiaverini Show, presented by the NSU Alumni Association. I'm Orry Phillips, the voice of the RiverHawks, and I am joined by the RiverHawks SportsNest, consisting of DJ Sean Solo and Captain William Morgan. Alongside us is the leader of NSU football, head coach Darrin Chiaverini. Before we get to our conversation, we'd like to extend a big thank you to the program's presenting sponsor, the NSU Alumni Association. Membership in the NSU Alumni Association is the most visible way to show your Northeastern pride. It's also the only way to enjoy RiverHawks football in the comfort of the Bank First Green and White Room, the exclusive hospitality room at RiverHawks home games. Learn more about membership at nsualumni.com. For the first time since 2011, Northeastern State is going bowling. That's the reason why we're here for this special edition of the show. The RiverHawks take the field for the final time in 2025 when they face East Central in the First Americans Bowl this Saturday at 1 p.m. at Doc Wadley Stadium. It is the first ever matchup in the First Americans Bowl, Division II football's newest addition to the bowl season. Coach, let's start by talking about how we got here. NSU's 8 wins, most since 2000. An offense that's the highest scoring in program history. A defense that's probably right there with the 2000 unit is the best we've had in our NCAA era. Give me your thoughts on the journey up to this point and the growth you've seen while leading Division II football's biggest turnaround.
I mean, it's obviously, as you guys have been at a lot of the games, I mean, it's been a lot of work. I mean, we've come a long way in 2 years. You know, when I first took over the program and just the shape we were in for our roster, and then for us to go out there and recruit very talented high school football players. And in year one, being very competitive with a lot of true freshmen playing and some transfers that were on the field, and then able to retain a lot of the good players from year one, add more good players in year two, bring in the mid-year transfers, you know, bringing in a quarterback that's playing at a very high level, you know. Levante Chenault being eligible this year is a big deal for us as well. We're very explosive in the pass game. We're explosive in the run game. And then defensively, we've improved week to week to week this year. And so, yeah, it's been a lot of work. I think when you're in it, you don't appreciate it as much because you're just grinding every single day. You know, you're up at 4:30 in the morning, and you're in the gym by 5, and you're doing stuff just to get better. So you don't really have time to really appreciate it. I think once the season's over with, and to get a chance to kind of exhale, really haven't exhaled yet. So just focused on playing our best football in this bowl game and getting a bowl championship for our university.
We'll talk now about West Alabama game, most recent game in a 6-game win streak, capped off an undefeated season actually on the road against Division II competition. Again, focusing in on that for a second before we talk about the season as a whole, what were your thoughts on the regular season finale?
You know, it's tough to win on the road. It doesn't matter what level, high school, college, professional. You know, it's hard to win on the road, and especially when you're taking 10-hour bus rides, you know, to get kids motivated to play when it's a long trip. And, you know, West Alabama's a good program. Scott Cochran's a good coach. You know, obviously he was like Nick Saban's right-hand man for 10 years at Alabama. And so talented West Alabama team that went to the playoffs last year. And you could tell they were talented. I mean, they had players on both sides of the ball. I knew it was going to be a tough matchup for us. And, you know, we kind of fell behind a little bit early. We were kind of off offensively. We weren't playing great in the first quarter. Defensively, kept us in it, you know. And then, you know, for us to get those points right before half, you know, we were down 17. You know, I think we were down, 17-7?
17-7,
yeah.
We were down 17-7. And to get that 2-minute drive going and Troy to hit a big field goal, that was a big momentum swing in the game. And then coming out of halftime, defense got a 3-and-out stop, and then we had great field position, and we went 4 or 5 plays and scored, and so make it 17-17. And I could tell once we tied it up, even though they took the lead at 2017, I could tell that their sideline was getting a little bit nervous. Yeah. And especially when we tied it up 2020 and they got a penalty on the kickoff return. They got a little conservative over there offensively. They got a little tight and made mistakes. And obviously getting that pick 6, Aiden Guess had a great pass rush, and we got the pick 6 from Lloyd McIntosh. And just a huge play in the ball game. And then defense was suffocating in the fourth quarter, and offensively we controlled the clock. And, you know, probably could have scored a little bit more on them, but, you know, I'm really respectful of other coaches. And so we decided to take a knee. I was surprised he took a timeout after he pretty much conceded.
I think he was taking a shot at us.
I think he pretty much conceded the game because he didn't call timeouts. And so I'm like, all right, you're not going to call timeouts. I'm going to take a knee. So I don't know if it was just because, you know, he's a first-year head coach and maybe he just mismanaged the timeouts, which that's what I think happened. But, you know, then we kicked the field goal. We kicked off to him. They got another penalty, and then the quarterback threw a pick on the first play. So just proud of the way we battled back on the road. It's hard to win on the road, and it's even harder to win on the road when you fall behind. And we fell behind 17-7 and battled our way all the way back and won 33-20. And that's a huge win for our program. It's a huge win for our football team, huge win for our university, and just shows the growth that we've had in 2 years here.
Well, going back to, you kind of already mentioned about that first half and getting slow out of the gate, we got the big touchdown, and then, of course, the big deal about getting that field goal before halftime. What stood out about how our guys responded and kept control of the game and getting that late field goal and coming out of the gates for the second half?
I mean, I think it's just a testament to, to our character. It's a testament to the toughness of our football team, and we didn't blink. And I like that about our team. I think that we've coached them hard this year. They've taken to the coaching. We've had adversity. We had some adversity, obviously, early in the season, and they overcame a lot of that. And we've been playing our best football the last 6 games of the season. I think we outscored our opponents by 199 points, which is a large margin. And we outscored our opponents on the season over like 226 points. So that's a huge number. And that just shows the growth and the development of our program, and it shows the grittiness of our team.
So, you've talked all season about your idea of, balance of the offense, 300 yards passing, 200 yards rushing. In the second half, the team dominated out West Alabama on both sides of the ball. And, of course, we outscored them, like you mentioned. Was this a prime example of your vision for the team's ability to execute each week in, week out?
Yeah, you got to be able. Every football game is different. Sometimes you got to throw it to win it, and sometimes you got to run it to win it. And in that game, I thought we were pretty balanced. We could throw it and run it, and we definitely got hot in the second half, and were able to move the ball consistently. And whenever you can eat up clock with your run game and keep your defense off the field, that's a winning formula. And we were able to do that in the fourth quarter. And defense got some stops and some turnovers, and we were able to run the football with some explosives. And so, I tell people all the time, we're the toughest team in college football right now, and people don't want to play us, and that was evident the last 6 weeks of the season. Like, we are a tough football team. We hit on defense, we're physical on offense, and we can run by you on offense as well. So it's been fun. It's been fun to coach them, but again, like I'm still in that grind mode of where we're trying to finish this thing the right way.
Well, Coach, we talked a little about the defense, so how they tightened up throughout the year and became more consistent. So what were some of the key adjustments? Was it schematically or in preparation that kind of sparked that turnaround?
It was a couple things. We made some personnel changes, and then, Coach Atwell had a lot more influence on the defense. I got him more involved in the play calling part of the defense, and I thought Jeremy did a really good job. And him and Coach Tonavasa worked well, but I got to give credit to Jeremy of getting Coach Atwell of getting things a little bit more sound. And that's what I want as a head coach. And that's even though I'm an offensive head coach, I'm a head football coach. And what wins championships are great defense. Like, I know that. I know we can score 40 points a game, but that's not what wins championships. What wins championships is great defense and running the football on our terms. And so, I'm a big believer in that. If you want to be an elite program, you've got to play great defense, and you've got to be able to run the ball. And we've shown that we can do that.
Well, moving over to the offense and how it's scoring at this level, the spotlight naturally falls on the playmakers who we mention quite often. But who are some of the unsung heroes, maybe the linemen or the role guys who quietly allow this unit to become the highest scoring group in modern U.S. history?
U.S. history? Well,
U.S. history?
NSU.
NSU history.
I wish.
I hope it was U.S. history.
We're working towards that. Baby steps.
We have a lot of unsung heroes. Justice Gillum is a true freshman center, and he is an absolute stud. We love that kid, man. The way he plays, the way he practices, he just loves to play football. And those are the kind of guys you want to coach. Rashad Brown was a kid that is a redshirt freshman from Texas, and he was a kid that was thinking about not playing football anymore. I remember he came in my office and he wanted to go home, and I said, "Look, Rashad, you got so much football ahead of you." And he's been, a 10-game starter for us this year, and he has elevated his game to being one of the dominant offensive linemen in Division II football. And he's a big kid. He's 6'4", he's 300 pounds. Been a really solid player for us. I think Kaysen Badley, who we moved from tackle to guard, has been a guy that's embraced his role and didn't complain about going to guard, and done a really good job for us. Jaden Flores was a junior college transfer. from a Kansas junior college and came in here and has been a full year starter for us. And then, when Devin Jones got hurt, we moved Samarian back into that guard spot and moved Rashad to tackle. And Samarian's done a really good job of stepping in there, and we haven't missed a beat offensively. So, the offensive line never gets a lot of credit, and they get a lot of criticism when things don't go right. But our offensive line is played at a very high level, and Coach Sutherland's a really good football coach. He does a good job of coaching them in practice, of being in the film room with them and fixing the mistakes that we make in practice. And I'm a big believer that you have got to fix the issues during the week, because you're going to have problems on game day. That's just football, but you've got to fix your issues during the week. If you don't fix your issues during the week, you ain't got a chance on the weekend. And so we do a good job as a staff of fixing our issues.
Before we shift gears to focusing entirely on the First Americans Bowl, let's go to Sean, get his last pick for Banger Player, but this time it's for the entire season. Tons of great candidates. Go ahead.
Well, we have I was thinking about this, of the playmakers we've had and the stats and all this kind of stuff. But, of course, we're kind of shunned as far as the Harlan Hill Trophy goes to the most outstanding player in Division II with the whole regions and rankings. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to give the Banger Player of the season to Ramon McKinney. 1,744 total yards, 18 touchdowns. It's pretty plain and simple right there. So there's your winner.
Well, and with the bowl game, he's now got a shot at breaking program records there, because at the total yards, he's only about 100 back of that record, which is about 25 years old. And then touchdowns, he's within 2 or 3 as well for matching or breaking that one too. So something to keep up with there. I do want to shout out one guy myself, and that's Troy Wynn. He knocked down 4 field goals in the West Alabama game, and now we got a little bit of that looks pretty good. First Americans Bowl trophy right here if you're watching on the video.
Yeah, we got to keep this home.
That's certainly the goal.
That is nice.
Yeah, talking about Troy, I want to shout this out because we haven't had this happen very often. He hit 4 field goals in the West Alabama game. First time an NSU kicker's made 4 in a game since 2006. It also clinched him to have the highest scoring season for an NSU kicker in program history. So big congrats to him, a true sophomore out of Bixby who hasn't been playing football that long.
That's still crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, great conversation up to this point. Let's pause briefly on Lakes Country. When we come back, it's all about the First Americans Bowl. It's on Lakes Country 102.1. Welcome back to the show. This season, we've been presenting the Darrin Chiaverini Show, presented by the NSU Alumni Association during weekly quarterback club meetings. To learn more about becoming an NSU backer, visit GoRiverHawksGo.com. We'll continue the conversation, but first, we'd like to thank our official radio sponsors for the season. Without their support, this show would not be possible. Tahlequah Family Vision Clinic, Archer Cleaners, Northeastern State University Relations, Chick-fil-A Tahlequah, The Wash Barn, Riverside Liquor, Napoli's Italian Restaurant, The Shockley Group, JT Van Attorney at Law, Rose Rock Coffee, Health First Chiropractic Clinic, Edward Jones, Jeremy McClure, and Northeastern State University's College of Extended Learning. As I mentioned, Troy's big day against West Alabama. They got a lot of shout-outs as our official field goal sponsor. For the first time since 2011, NSU's not only in a bowl game, but they'll be facing East Central. We've actually faced East Central more than any other program in history. And this is something a lot of folks don't realize, because if you were to ask somebody who we played the most across NSU football history, they're probably going to say UCO. It's actually been East Central 91 times, dating back to our inaugural season in 1909. Going to you, Coach, tell me about this opponent. What will it be like also to add to the history of that in-state series?
I think it's a great opportunity to get, 2 historic programs from Oklahoma, and playing in a bowl game is a big deal for both programs, and their coach has done a really good job with their team. They're talented on both sides of the ball. Defensively, I think their defensive end, number 1, does a really good job. He's a good pass rusher. And, offensively, they make plays. They got skill guys that make plays. They got running backs that make plays. And I think it's a really good matchup for us and a good matchup for them. And I'm excited to play this game on Saturday.
Well, bowl games always tend to come down to, a handful of situations, red zone, third down, quick changes of momentum. What's been your emphasis this week in sharpening those specific situations?
Yeah, I think the big thing that you really want to get your team, we haven't played a game in 3 weeks, and so you got to get your team back in rhythm. You got to get them back in shape. You got to get them back focused to go out and compete on a Saturday. When you're in the season grind, you're playing every 7 days, and so it's easy to keep them in a rhythm. I think the tough thing is when they have a little bit of a break. They were off for a week, and then we come back for 2 weeks of a bowl prep, but it's right before Thanksgiving. It's hard to keep them focused during Thanksgiving week because they know they're not playing a game that week. And so I think your biggest struggle as a head coach is to get your team focused and get them working at a high level, preparing to play a college football game. And I'm sure they're having the same issues over there at ECU. And so, for us, we want to play clean football this weekend. We want to play fast and physical on both sides of the ball. I want to see our defense keep attacking and doing the things that they've done a great job of and getting off the field on third down. And offensively, I want to continue to impose our will in our run game and be able to, be consistent and be efficient in the pass game, which we've shown that we've done that at a high level all year.
Well, Coach, continuing on that, just add more pressure, since it is a postseason game, but you're also wanting to give a message to your team about the opportunity to cement their legacy. So not just the bowl win, but the way they get to represent the program and the community this week, on top of getting back in shape and everything else. So,
yeah, I think the thing as a head coach, you really want to just keep them consistent. No one game is bigger than the next game. At the end of the day, we're trying to get to 1-0 this week. Trying to finish the chase the right way, and that's been my point of emphasis with our team. Get back in a rhythm of what we do on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday practice and focus on us. We've done a really good job of focusing on us and what we can control as a football team. And our guys are going to be ready to play on Saturday. I can tell they're chomping at the bit to get out there and do what they do. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, you kind of answered my next question. So what kind of exciting things around campus are they getting involved with this week? If you want to talk about some of those things.
Yeah, we got obviously the banquet's going to be on Friday at the Chota Center, and we're going to have both teams there. We got the parade on Friday that our teams are going to be involved in as well. And so I think this is a great opportunity to get all the the community members in Tahlequah, get them to our bowl game here. I'm sure ECU is going to travel well. I would imagine they're going to travel well, and it should be a really good game day environment for our football team and for our community as a whole to celebrate a great season. This has been a historic season for not just in the stats. It's just been a historic season of bringing the community back together and getting behind the program again and being proud of the football team. Every university in America wants to be proud of their football program. And I can feel the people of Tahlequah, they're proud of our team. Our university's proud of our team. And that's what it's about. That's what college football is about.
So much like the Nike and 7 Indigenous Peoples game we held last Saturday for basketball, this Saturday's game, another occasion where we recognize, honor the stories and traditions of Indigenous communities that are the backbone of NSU, Tahlequah, and Green Country as a whole. As it is described, this event offers a powerful reflection of identity, heritage, and the strength of Indigenous and minority athletes nationwide. So talk about what that means to get that type of platform, play under that spotlight, especially in an event that's really ties into NSU so well with the support we get from the tribal nations.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity just to spotlight, the native universities and NSU and ECU and the indigenous cultures and the things that surround this game. And it's a great game to be played because this is going to be the first of many bowl games. And I truly believe this will be one of the bigger bowl games, not only in Oklahoma, but in the D2 community, because it's going to showcase and spotlight the history and tradition of the indigenous cultures. And that's a huge deal in Oklahoma. It's a huge deal, and we're in the capital of Cherokee Nation. That's a huge deal. And so I think it's a great idea. I'm glad this game is being played, and I'm glad NSU is the first, team that's in there with ECU. So it's going to be a fun game.
We're kind of building off that. We've had weeks where we've had the recruits out and, experiencing NSU football. With this weekend being so big and the media and all this kind of stuff, is that going to be a showcase that we can have some recruits here to see all this, or is it too late in the season for that?
No, we're going to have some official visitors. We're still, we're not losing a lot of guys from this year's team, so that's why we're not signing a bunch of mid-year transfers. Last year, we were still building the program, and that's why we signed so many mid-year transfers last year. But we're really focused on high school recruiting right now because we've done a good job recruiting the first 2 years. So we got classes that are stacked right now, so we don't have to go out and sign a bunch of mid-year guys to plug and play. We got guys that we've been developing, and that just shows that we've done a good job in having a plan for a 3-4 year build. And in my honest opinion, we're ahead of where I thought we would be in year 2. I thought this would be more of a 3 and 4 year build, but we definitely hit on some of our mid-year transfers, and some of these freshmen that we signed in this past class are really good players. Justice Gillum's a stud. Cam Jackson's a stud. Jordan Colbert's a stud. Those are all true freshmen that are starting. Kel Charbonneau is an absolute stud. Yeah. We hit on these true freshmen, and it's a testament to our coaches and the evaluation process, and then also us being able to sign them.
Up next, we have the Captain's Catch with Captain Morgan. He'll look at a player's got his eye on for this week's bowl game. We'll also get final thoughts from the table. It's next on the Darrin Chiaverini Show, presented by the NSU Alumni Association. We return to the Darrin Chiaverini Show, presented by the NSU Alumni Association. A few more things to get to. First, a reminder, we will be live from Doc Wadley Stadium for a 1 p.m. kickoff on Lakes Country 102.1, the official radio home of NSU Athletics. Coverage of the First Americans Bowl on radio begins with the countdown to kickoff at 12 p.m. Now we'll go to Captain William Morgan for his Captain's Catch, pick of the week, one final time this season.
You asked for this, Coach. So here's the captain with the Captain's Catch this week. It goes to the route running renegade himself, Levante Chenault. 70 catches, 910 yards receiving, and 4 ships sank for touchdowns. Arr! He's the chain mover, the coverage breaker, the senior sparks that keeps this offense full steam ahead. One last sail to battle was a RiverHawk, Levante Chenault, your Captain's Catch for the First Americans Bowl. Arr!
Here. I need to put some, yeah, give it up for Captain Morgan, everybody.
That's so much better when you do it like that.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
So much better.
I might need to get some cannon effect at the end of just exploding.
Yes.
You definitely got to get some cannon.
Yeah.
exploding.
We'll note that for next season.
That's awesome.
My favorite part was the ARF.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our fence.
I even got Orry to say that when he was reading it beforehand, so he actually said it himself, made me laugh.
But Levante Chenault, all that aside, a tremendous pick. He's probably the best receiver this program's ever seen from a skill set standpoint, and it's very exciting to see what the future holds for him. Final game as a RiverHawk, as hopefully it goes out on a high note with a bowl game victory. One final reminder that the most visible way to show your Northeastern pride is through membership with the NSU Alumni Association. All season, we've been doing drawings for the $25 VC gift cards for folks that have downloaded the Green and White Network mobile app and tapped the Coach Chev show tile before filling out the corresponding form. We'll do our final drawing now. Sean has got his hands together. He's hoping that
Mandy Jo comes up there. Come on now. Come on, Coach.
You know, she's 0 for 11.
Chris Rowland.
Now 0 for 12.
Congratulations, Chris.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Big congratulations to Chris Rowland for winning our final $25 VCF card for this season's editions of the Darrin Chiaverini Show. Another great one in the books. Final thoughts before the First Americans Bowl. We'll start with Sean.
Well, I'm just going to say this. You know, I've enjoyed being on the call with you in the booth this season, but I have missed being on the sidelines with the guys. It was a lot of fun to do that last year, and this year I want to be on the sidelines. So I'm really looking forward to seeing these guys up close for a lot of these seniors for the last time and just enjoy the energy on that. So, Coach, I'm just letting you know I'm out there for you.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be an exciting atmosphere with the community. As you said, East Central's they're going to travel well, so I think it's going to be a huge crowd out there. Playing some December ball is always fun, regardless. So look forward to doing the PA. I cannot be a homer. I understand. I have to be neutral. So that's going to be a little different, but I'm working on that. So yeah, and congratulations again for a great season and then making it to the bowl game, Coach.
Thank you. You know, we're excited. Obviously, whenever you're playing football games in December in college football, it means that you've had a great season. And we've had a great season, but we want to finish this thing the right way. Our kids have been working hard all year. They've been working hard in bowl prep. And I want to see our guys go out there and just let it loose and play one more time RiverHawk football and just showcase our grit culture, which is our guts and being relentless and intentional and being the toughest team on the field for 4 quarters. And I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, sir.
A lot of history behind this matchup. Northeastern State, East Central for the 92nd time. NSU's first bowl game since 2011. One of the highlights of what's been one of our best seasons all century. You can still get tickets for this one. For more information on that, go to 7clans.com. That's 7-clans.com. Until then, we'll catch you Saturday. This has been the Darrin Chiaverini Show, presented by the NSU Alumni Association.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate you.